At one point in my life, I was living on my aunt's couch. I hadn't finished school yet, almost 8, 9 years in, almost done my program. I did a startup that fucking failed miserably. I completely blew my fucking finances. I was borderline bankrupt. I signed a consumer proposal because I completely fucked that startup up. My life was basically chaos. I had to build my life back up. I had nothing to my name. Was literally living on my aunt's couch, and I didn't tell my dad because I knew he'd get a heart attack. He'd be terrified at the fact that I haven't finished school yet, and I was in complete disarray. I had to build my life back up. At this point in my life, I was a coach beforehand, but that's when I kind of I lost, not the drive, but I wanted to go out and have fun. I wanted to experience life as a whole, and that's when I realized how much I love training when you kind of slip. You realize how much you love training when you fucking slip. I love training. The drugs and alcohol didn't do shit. I was smoking every fucking day. The fact that I actually did a startup in that shit was fucking lunacy, crazy. Anyways, living on my aunt's couch, trying to rebuild my life all over again, moved to Toronto. My friend told me he has a job for me. He said, dude, it's not a glamorous job, but it's a great job. This is a job where you're doing business-to-business sales, selling print solutions. I'm like, print solutions? He's like, yeah, you're basically selling printers. I'm like, you're selling printers, like small little desktops? No, like big MFPs, multifunctional printers for law firms, accountants, architectures, things like these. I'm like, I'd never heard of that. And then I saw it and it blew my mind. These things cost fucking money. It costs as much to Mercedes-Benz, and it blew my mind that people, offices are paying that much on printing every single fucking month and day. Anyways, he said, it's not a sexy sell. There's nothing sexy about it. I'm like, dude, I don't know if I can do this. I came from a training background. I love training. You want me to do this? There's no passion of fucking printer. What the fuck? How am I going to do this? He said, trust me, if you can sell a printer in the business side of the world, you can do anything, because it's the perfect combination of analytical sales, because you're dealing with a lot of numbers, and automotive, but in the business side of things. I'm like, okay, I'll give it a shot. I had no other option. Long story short, I got the job. And I went through the the probation period, the training. I basically almost failed that, because my head was so fried from so much marijuana smoking that the fact that I actually went to training and they actually had so much things my brain, I couldn't process anything. I don't know how the fuck, that's looking back, I'm like, how the fuck did I actually operate with that much marijuana in my system? Anyways, I got the job. Last minute, they saw me swing a deal. Last minute, literally last day, last hours, there was a Jeopardy game, and I fucking did some kind of negotiating last month with a guy. They were beyond impressed. They got this guy, he doesn't know the ins and outs when it comes to printers, but this guy can make a fair deal, so he knows how to negotiate. And I got the job. Now, this is what I learned by doing this business sales job. At this point, I was like, at one point I was 210 pounds, shredded, 6-7% body fat. I went down to like $160, $170. The one thing I realized was people really they will judge you based on your size and your look. I remember walking down the street, and when I was that big, nobody would fuck with me. When you're small, like that size, yeah, it was a complete eye turner. I even had a guy in the office. He fucking threw a ball in my head. He's like, "Get me coffee." No, just a dickhead. I was like, dude, if I was bigger, stronger, I had that size, you wouldn't even fucking dare. There are people out there who are just giant dicks, and he was one of them. Anyway, the point is this. So I would start doing that job. First few months was zeros, and after that, I was just like, boom, 100, 120, 120, 150% quota, 200% quota, 300. I was just like closing deal after deal after deal. And then eventually it got to a point where, because I was chasing the money, I was chasing the deals. There was no passion involved. Eventually I was just like, it hit me. I'm just like, mind you, I was learning a lot from a skill set standpoint. I was learning a lot in terms of negotiations. I liked wearing a suit at that point. I started working out again hard. And then I started getting my size back. I started embracing a fucking tailored suit. I liked negotiating. I liked making deals. The selling a printer was just nothing sexy about it. Nothing. But when you're doing selling Canons, Xeroxes, and stuff like those printers, it's a great skill set to have. Anyway, so I remember looking around the office and I was just like, bro, these guys are weathered. Do I want this? These guys are all chasing, they're all stressed. You can feel the tension in the air sometimes in the sales department. They're all out of shape. I don't want to be rude, but some of them are balding hard. They're stressed. Their guts are out. They have high blood pressure, anxiety, right? And I'm just like, Sam, like, they're all climbing that job title, and they're just giving themselves up, and they're sales hotshots. Some guys are pretty funny. They're pretty loudmouth ex-Air Force guys. They're fucking funny people, unfiltered. And I looked around. I'm like, this is everything I'm against. I literally did not want to work a cubicle. Well, lucky for me, it wasn't a cubicle job. I was always out meeting clients. But I'm like, man, these guys are struggling, man. They've completely give them their physical appearance up completely for a job title, more money, and a bigger room, a bigger house, and they disregard their even existence. Their body's a means of an end to get more material things. And then they wonder why they could, like, I say, like, that shit's superficial. The mentality is superficial. It's like, fuck my body, fuck this, fuck that. I need the bigger house, I need a bigger car so I feel more special. And the job title. And the bigger deal. And yet some of them have tits, they have guts. They can't, probably some have never seen a penis for a while. I can only imagine last time when some of them have even had an erection because they're so stressed. And it's the truth. And at that point, I quit my fucking corporate job. I ain't fucking doing this. No fucking way. And it was also when I kind of realized, when I left the university as a gym, as a trainer, I've just, my last few years, I remember looking around the gym, just like, the future is, I know everyone's talking about IT and stuff like that, but the future past that is something more creative, movement or strength. The world's going to need it. Because I remember coming out, I'm just like, man, I was insecure as fuck. I don't know how, when you look around, like, these kids are in fucking pain, man. You look at these kids, especially Waterloo University, it's a bunch of dorks. Like, I'm not sure to be rude, like engineers, math, computer science, a bunch of fucking dorks. There's no other way to put it. Some of them are like cool people, but they're just nerdy as fuck. Smelly, don't care. They don't clip their toenails. There's no disregard, just they don't care. And I remember that some of them working out in the gym, I'm just like, man, I would hate even having a degree in the university looking or feeling like that. I'm like, I would love to get a degree in terms of how to get a physique. I would love to have a degree in terms of how to feel good every single day. Give me that fucking thing. If you told me I can get jacked and lean as fuck, feel strong and feel comfortable in my own skin, or a university degree, which one do you think I would take? Which one do you think most of these people on this planet would take? Like, the fact that people have to run through their head every single day that I'm disgusting, I'm worthless. And the only thing that's making them feel special is a job title, a degree, finances, anything that's volatile. So if you lose all of that, your self-image is fucked. Done. So one day you lose this, your job, you move, and your emotions are up and down. But the reason why I promote training first thing in the morning, the reason why I train hard all the fucking time, because a gym membership is dirt cheap. You don't need a fucking gym. And on top of that, it validates who you are every single fucking day. I could lose fucking everything. I can leave in a sleeping bag. I won't give a fuck. Because I'd walk down the street and everyone's just like, he looks good. His energy's right. So as I age, I always have that ability to reset. I have that ability to take that risk. I have the ability to go all in on something. If I lose everything, I'm like, I got me, motherfucker. I'm ripped, I'm rare. And my time to get rich. Now, I'm not pretending like finances are in anything, but it's a means to an end. Like, it's a tool. Like, I also understand, like the spiritual world is very unique and it's true. It's very important, but like the truth is most people want to understand how to get that like connection within their own heart and still have the material things instead of living like a fucking monk. This is the real world. No one's gonna live that life. No one wants that life. It's rare. No one's gonna like kumbaya 24/7 and like not want all those fancy things. People want to know how to get the fancy things and not fucking like feel emotional, irritated. If you told me I had to get all those fancy things and my emotions like this every single day, I'm like, no. If you told me it was like balance and I get those fancy stuff, yeah, teach me how to do that. From my experience, you don't have to listen to me. Waking up early, beating the sun up, Getting a morning workout in, something that makes you strong, gets the oxygen flowing, and then controlling your nutrition, macros, those 3 things. If you can do those 3 things, I will change your life 1,000%. If you understand those on a fundamental level and repeat it every single day, fucking promise, nothing will beat that in terms of an internal feeling that you can do every single day. I'm like, man, this is my lifesaver. We all have rough days, but you have the ability to reset and just go back to normal. So if I was a suit and I didn't have time to train, I'd do it in the fucking morning. Looking back, could I have done that job and worked out first in the morning? Yeah, I was actually beginning to, but I started smoking marijuana and that fucking threw me off again. Just a bit of a reflection post. I know some guys work in the corporate world and they just let go. I don't know why you guys are like, what do you, don't fall for that trap that your parents gave, that same excuse. You guys, some of you guys are saying, I'm not like my parents, but you're saying the same fucking excuse. I don't have time to train because I'm trying to raise my kids, my family, finances. You're just like your parents. And you look at them, you're like, I'm not going to turn into them. You're going to turn into them. Until you make those decisions, those changes. You don't have to wake up early, but I guarantee you from my life experiences, especially if you were doing a sales job or something, a corporate job, you're going to curveballs. Your boss is going to say, let's go out drinking, let's get dinner, client meetings, late night proposals, late night emails. It's almost impossible to do at that time. The reason why I like waking up super early is because there's no fucking distraction, 0.